Morning campers. Well, it finally happened. It got warm, 54 degrees right now, and we actually had some rain. We had more rain in the last week than we'd had since July. So the creeks have come up. I'm heading down to Flat Creek today, which is another part of the White River Basin. The put-in's going to be along Highway C, which is in a little community called McDowell, and I'll be floating to Highway 39, 13.6 miles. According to the USGS this morning, we're running at about 250 cubic feet per second, which I'm thinking should be about perfect for fishing and floating. So we'll find out. I'll get on here in a little bit when we get to the put-in. Time to get started. Shuttle distance on this one is 14.5 miles. That's a haul. So I'm gonna take it slow and easy and hopefully not get hit by one of these cars. It's 3 o'clock, hitting the water. Looks like a good water level. Gonna get at it. I've got to get about 3 miles in before dark. That would have caused you to shit yourself. I don't think I'm going to do it. bridge is the 2.1 mile marker. I plan on camping about a mile down from here. The float that we just did, which I don't know that I would do again, I'd never done before. I'd always put in at this bridge here. So with the dam and rapid runs and everything else upstream, I don't know that it's worth it unless you have a whitewater boat and are just looking to play. But otherwise it's pretty rough. Well, it's 5 o'clock. I made it the 3 miles or so to where I planned on camping, and this is it. So get the boat unloaded. There were so many rapids, I took on a little water off to drain it out tonight. And yeah, build a campfire and chill out for a while. Well, it is 6:30. Have camp about set up, the tent set up. I don't have the air mattress and the sleeping bag taken care of, but the most important thing is that I got changed because I had just a little bit of water in the waders. Some pretty rough water, actually. I wish I would have brought the self-bailing inflatable boat and lighter gear. I mean, well, maybe you can see it. It's pretty dark, but it's hauling ass. The good news is that I've decided for tomorrow, anything that can get wet is just going to get placed and strapped down into the bilge. Anything that can't get wet is going to be in dry bags and battened down pretty hard. So I'm really not going to care tomorrow whether or not I get wet or not. It's about a little over 10 miles. It's supposed to be over 60 degrees. The water's got to be at least, it could be way off, 50 degrees, 48, upper 40s, has to be. It's not like I'm going to die of hypothermia, so tomorrow is just going to be a wet and wild adventure, I think. But I was going to point out, I picked this camp spot out in advance. Flat Creek is surrounded by pasture. There's a lot of actually turkey farms. I know they're bad, but just a lot of dairy farms as well. Not a lot of woods. So I picked this spot out specifically because on Google Earth I could see that there was a bluff to this side. And yes, there is, on the other side of this island, there is pasture back behind me, but there's no houses in the immediate vicinity. I don't think I have to worry about getting run off in the middle of the night. I had a guy ask me not very long ago, how do you camp on the river all the time and not get run off? It didn't used to be a problem. I've never been run off. With Google Earth, man, I mean, it's just smart to pay attention. And I planned this out in advance. This is a 13.7 mile float, I believe, and I'm about 3 miles in, so I'll have a little over 10 miles tomorrow. And if you can see it, yes, I'm not in West Virginia, I'm not in Colorado, I'm in Southwest Missouri. It's absolutely gorgeous. Well, I'm back on the water. It's about 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Gonna float and fish and have a good time. A little over 10 miles, 10 and a half miles, something like that today. And the way this river's scooting, shouldn't be a problem at all. Very cool. This is a private road. It's the 4 mile marker for the trip. And they have just installed, it looks like, a covered bridge, which is really cool. On Google Earth, which is usually pretty up to date, it shows nothing here. So I'm guessing less than a year old. It's just a pole barn, but it looks really cool. How often do you get to float under a covered bridge? Making good time might be an understatement. This is Farm Road something. It's another 0.6 miles down from the last bridge, and it's, yeah, I don't even know that it's been 15 minutes, so I think I'm clearly scooting along at 3 miles an hour or so, or better. fishing's been tough, but if I get any, I'll turn. Came down that was fun. Got to get some water out of the boat. This is Stubblefield, the first public access on Flat Creek. It means that on this 13.6 mile float, I'm 6 miles done. So continue on. I think they call this the old bridge at Jenkins. This is one heck of a log jam. The current on the opposite side is really just whipping through, and there's logs everywhere. I decided to stop, stretch the legs, and scout this side, and it flows through. So I may have to pull over a couple of shallow spots, but yeah, you know, in the summertime, I might have taken the more adventurous route when I'm not carrying camping stuff, but better to be safe than sorry when you're hauling gear. Yeah, Highway 248 bridge. That means we've covered 8.8 miles with 4.8 miles to go. The Floater's Guide to Missouri says that there's no access here. There actually is, it kind of sucks. My friend Paul and I, the very first float trip we ever planned on our own, or I planned, was from that first bridge there after C, which isn't an official access spot either, but you can access it there as well. And we took out here at 248, and we did it at this water level in a john boat, and we did sink it. So he doesn't seem to want to go floating with me anymore after that. My bad. It's pretty rough at this water level, and it was flowing at this rate when we did it for sure. But back then I didn't know anything, so I didn't have the Bible, the Floater's Guide to Missouri. There were no river level monitoring, so I just looked at the bridges. There looked like there was enough water to float, so we shoved the john boat in with a trolling motor, and away we went. So it was an adventure, to say the least. gonna hurt. Almost made it. The Highway 39 bridge where hopefully my truck is still parked. That log jam where I took my swim was the last log jam. The last mile was absolutely nothing, and I've been paying closer attention, but it wasn't that big a deal. Just dumped the boat out, and I'm wet, but it's gorgeous out, so I'll get changed into some dry clothes to get everything packed up and pick up the bike. The low water bridge, get the bike picked up. Man, it's gorgeous. 62 degrees. Awesome. There was even a couple other kayakers that were putting in just down from the Highway 248 bridge. I think they were parked right where I was on Highway 39 to take out. But yeah, can't beat it. It's March something, 3rd. Weather's spectacular. It was a good float, great camp. Fishing was a little slow, but the river was kind of hauling, so you kind of got to give and take, but had a great time. Still there. Get loaded up, head for home.